How's it hanging, YouTube? This is King of Feral Limps, and I'm here on Dueling Network with a Fluffal deck profile. So we're gonna go ahead and Chateau Chat this deck profile here on Dueling Network. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and yeah, there's not so much to say about it. This is the Fluffal deck. Honestly, I hope this goes well, and I hope that you stay for the entire thing. So first of all, as far as edge imps go, 3 edge imp chain, because edge imp chain is just really good. It's got the effect, declaring an attack, you can add another edge imp chain to your hand, so that way it's like chain links. And if it's sent from the field or the hand to the graveyard, then you get to add another fight for a card from your deck to your hand, and it is card, so it can be anything else that you play in here, but you can only use the effect once per turn. Then is 2 Edge Imp Sabers. This one is the basic one. We've had this forever. And 2 is still a good number because, we still kind of need it and sort of on it. The effect is just that while it's in the graveyard, you can top deck a card from your hand in order to special summon this from the grave. You can only use it once per turn, so it's a Plague Spreader zombie, but of course not being a tuner. So that's it for the Edge Imp monsters. That's all you really need. Then is 3 Fluffal Bear, which is the absolute best card in the deck now. Well, nowadays it is. It's got the effect that you can send it from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 toy vendor from your deck to your hand, to set one toy vendor directly from your deck. So it's pretty good because it's basically, discard it, set that, and then you get your stuff going. It does have the effect that while it's face up on the field, you contribute it to add back a polymerization from your grave to your hand. But we don't need that. You can only use the effect once per turn, which in the past I've got that wrong, or I just completely forgot about it. This is the best one, of course. And then is Fluffal Dog. When it's normal or special summon from the hand, you get to add 1 Edge Imp Sabers or 1 Fluffal monster from your deck to your hand. Now it does only add Sabers, so we can't search out Chain with it, sadly. But you can search out Sabers or any other one, including copy of Dog, but normally, go Dog, search Bear, go for Vendor, and you're already 2 cards deeper into your deck. Not including whatever toy vendor whatever you planned on doing with toy vendor from there. Then is 3 Fluffal Mouse. This one's got the effect that during the main phase, you can special summon 2 copies of Fluffal Mouse from your deck, and you cannot special summon a monster from the extra deck except for Fight for Monsters, but that's really all we're going to be going for. We're not going to try and make Baby Turagan with this because that's sort of it's not a good idea. But basically, this helps you get out big material, or a lot of material for the extra deck. 1 Fluffal Owl. I'm sad that in the standard deck that this is down to 1 because I really like this card. Before I just played it at 3. I'm like max out because we need to search that poly. But now that we've got Mouse and Bear and Wings and Vendor, the draw engine and search engine is just a lot better. But still 1 copy because it's useful. He does also have the ability that you can pretty much pay 500 to make his effect polymerization, but only for a Fight for Monster. And you can only use 1 of them once per turn, either 1 search or 1 fusion summon. But if by chance you run out of these in your deck, then this is all right late game to have. But he's pretty cool. He's still useful though, of course, because if you get the effect off a toy vendor, then you just search out a polymerization, and then that's really good. 2 Fluffal Sheep. You can special summon it if you control a Fluffal monster. And then on top of that, you can return 1 other Fluffal monster you control to special summon an Edge Imp monster. So basically, if you have, say, like an Edge Imp in the grave, then you can go ahead and normal summon 1 of your other Fluffal monsters, say like Owl, then special summon Sheep. Now that you've met the condition to have Owl, then you can go ahead and Owl will get his effect actually to search for polymerization, and so will Dog if you do it with Dog. But let's say Owl, summon Owl, summon Owl, search polymerization. Then special Sheep's effect to return Owl, so you can use it later, and then that'll let you special summon, say, Chain, and then you have the poly in your hand, so you can fuse Chain and Sheep for something, or scissors or sabers, depending on what you use. But that's like the basic combo that you can do with Sheep and Chain are like best friends. That's why they fuse. And then 3 of the Fluffal Wings. This is the absolute best freaking card in the I love this. Well, okay, no, Bear is good. They're all really good, but like Wings is what made the deck. It's what helped the deck out. So basically, if it's in the graveyard while you control a toy vendor, you can banish this card from the graveyard and then target 1 other Fluffal monster in your graveyard. Banish it and then draw 1 card. So basically, you got to banish this and then another Fluffal monster. So you do have to banish 2 cards, but you get to draw 1 card. and then on top of that, you get to destroy your toy vendor, and then toy vendor is going to search out another Fluffal. So let's say, you ditch bear to the grave, set toy vendor from your deck, and if you have wings in the hand, you can go ahead and discard wings for the affected toy vendor. You'll get the effect off. You'll send something to the grave. Maybe you'll get a search. You'll get to special summon dog or owl off of it, and you'll get a nice search. And then from there, you can go ahead and banish the wings and the bear from the grave to go ahead and draw another card, and then pop this. And then from there, this is going to search you out something else from the deck, maybe even another dog if you didn't normal summon yet. That's basically it. I've covered this before in my how to play video, which not that it's outdated, but it kind of is. And I did misspeak quite a few times in that. So maybe I'll redo that here on Dueling Network. And then just 3 copies of King of the Swamp. This guy is actually kind of hard to find and a little more pricier than he should be. So again, one reason why I'm doing this on Dueling Network, plus the mice and then some of the extra deck stuff. And Twin Twister and then that thing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So King of the Swamp basically just substitutes for any one fusion material monster. Now the way that this works, let's say, okay, Wolf, right? It needs Edge Imp Sabers and 1 or more Fluffal monster. King of the Swamp does not count for the 1 or more Fluffal monster. He counts for the Edge Imp Sabers. So very important to keep that in mind. And then on top of that, while he's in the hand, you can discard him to search another polymerization. So since, King of the Swamp is kind of standard, that's why Owl can stay at 1, but too bad. I like Owl. He's got some cool little glasses. From there, 3 Fright for Fusion, because this is basically Miracle Fusion, but for Fright Furs. And that's it. That's literally it. And then 1 Instant Fusion, because Instant Fusion is pretty decent. We play some things that we can use in the extra deck. Some people play 2. I hardly even want to play this at all, but I feel like 1 copy is still useful. And then polymerization, 3 of those. You can search them out real easy using that, and well, yeah, you can do that. And then 1 Regeki, because you can clear up the field and then get at your opponent real easy. 3 Toy Vendor, because search it off bear, combo with wings. It's all you need. Aside from that, you can discard 1 card and then draw 1 card and reveal it. And if the card you reveal is a Fluffal monster, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. Now, it does say 1 monster. It doesn't have to be that Fluffal that you reveal. It can be the Fluffal that you reveal, but it doesn't have to. So honestly, I've been trying to figure out some sort of way to break this with using that, but I don't know. You can still use that effect. And then from there, if it's destroyed or if it's sent to the graveyard at all, it just says sent to the graveyard. You can add 1 Edge Imp Sabers or 1 Fluffal monster from your deck to the graveyard. I keep doing that. Why is the high $4.35? I hate you, Dueling Network. And then from there, 2 Twin Twisters. You discard 1 card, target 2 cards on, basically that. I swapped this out for MST because you can go ahead and ditch stuff. You can, get a field pretty big. Say like you can Twisters, ditch Chain, and pop your own Toy Vendor, and you get some nice searches off of that. And then from there, you can even bring back Chain, or bring him back like with Fright for Fusion. It's just really good. I feel like in this deck, since you do actually need stuff in the graveyard, and some stuff will get effects by being in the graveyard, you should play this over MSTs. Although maybe I'll play like 1. Well, okay, ignore my side deck. I should have said that before. Then 3 Fright for March, 2 Fright for March. I've seen some people don't play this, but I personally would like to play it. I want to. But what it does is when your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect that targets a Fright for monster, you can negate the activation and destroy that card. And then on top of that, you can send the targeted Fright for monster to the graveyard, and then special summon 1 level 8 or higher Fright for monster from your extra deck, and it counts as a fusion summon. But it does say during your next end phase, banish it, but it still helps for bringing out some big monsters from some big monsters. And then 2 fusion reserves. Review 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, and then add 1 of the fusion material monster cards. It does only search out these though, with because of the rules. What it said, either Edge Imp Sabers. But we do play 1 copy of Bear in the extra deck, so you can go ahead and search out your Fluffal Bear, which helps a lot. I'd like to see someday, something that will help you, an extra deck monster that will help you search out one of the other guys. But for now, it's a solid way to search out Bear, because Bear is pretty important. That's all for the main deck. As far as the extra deck goes, just 2 decent rank 4s, 101 and Castell. That's all you need, just some solid rank 4s, 1 Norden, because if by chance you want to use that instant fusion for Norden, you can do that, and then you can summon these. We do play 1 to 6 main deck level 4 monsters, so you can go ahead and get that effect off. As far as fusions, 2 Fluffal Sheep, or sorry, Fright for Sheep. This one does take Edge Imp Shade and one other. It has an Armades effect, so it's not affected if it attacks, and then if you control it and it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard either by battle or or your opponent's card, as long as it's in your possession and it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon it back from the graveyard with 800 more attack. That does not stack, so it goes up to 2800, and if it gets destroyed on top of that, it resets back to 2800. It doesn't stack. I've seen some people think it stacks, and you can only use it once per turn, but that's real useful because even if somehow you're able to summon like 2 of these, even though you can only use 1 effect per turn, you're pretty safe. If your opponent gets to the point where they can only destroy 1 of them per turn, you're in a real good position. From there, 2 Fright for Wolf, because he does take sabers plus 1 or more Fluffal fusion monsters, and it can attack depending on the number of fusion material monsters to summon it. So at minimum, he's going to have 2 attacks, 1 sabers and then 1 other Fluffal monster. So he's going to have at least 2 attacks. And of course, the best part is you can Fight for Fusion to go ahead and make something to bring out it with more fusion material monsters, so he can attack like up to 4 times per game. So that's just one thing. Then 1 Fright for Tiger, 3 Fright for Tiger. I'm so stupid. You don't want to play 1, you want to play 3. Max out on this guy, on Tigger. My Tigger. So basically what he does, it takes Edge Imp Sabers plus 1 or more fusion material monsters, or Fluffal. So basically Wolf. And then based on the number of material that you use to summon him, he can destroy that many cards on the field. And then from there, while he's on the field, he does have a continuous effect that all of your Fright for monsters gain 300 attack, or no, he gains 300 attack for every Fluffal or Fright for monster you control. And you can only control 1 of him. Even though, we play 3, you still want to be able to cycle through. So one thing you can do is you can use Polymerization to summon one of these with, let's say, 3 materials. He pops 3 things on the field, and then from there, if you have a Fright for Fusion, you can banish those same 3 materials and then bring out a Fright for Wolf, which can attack 3 times. And then from there, most likely, you destroyed everything that your opponent has in the way, so you're free to attack 3 times with Wolf and then once with Tiger, and, that's game. Then just 1 Fright for Bear. He does need Sabers and Bear, and he's got an effect. You can read it if you want, but mostly he's there to use with Reserve and then Summon Bear. I think I've actually summoned Bear a few times. Well, maybe once or twice. It's all right. 1 Fright for Leo. This one's really good. It's basically Volcasaurus. You do need Saw. We're not playing Saw because Saw is real slow. King of the Swamp can substitute for that, though. But I almost want to play 1 Saw because in the grave, I don't believe he counts for that. I'm not completely sure. Or actually, no, he may in the grave. Oh yeah, by the way, look at this price. No wonder I don't have one. But yeah, no, he does count in the grave. Never mind. But he's not searchable through anyway. We don't play anything in the deck that can search him because there is nothing that can search him. And so King of the Swamp is just real good to use with that. And then from there, the 2 Fright for Sabertooth. Now this does need a Fright for Fusion monster and 1 or more Fluff or Edge Imp monsters. And then it's got a real long effect, but it's basically everything combined. When it's fusion summon, target 1 Fright for monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then while he's on the field, all Fright for monsters you control gain 400 attack. And if it's fusion summon using 3 or more fusion materials, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So it's just really good. That's one way instant fusion helps, because instant fusion bring out sheep, and then you can poly with sheep and say something else that you actually have to make, or even summon just sheep and then 1 of these guys, and then you got a free, well, not a free, but you get a cheap Sabertooth, and then Sabertooth's effect will go ahead and special summon sheep. And that's one way to get it a little easier, to get 3 materials to make sure it can't be destroyed by battle. So it's crazy good. And then worst comes to worst, if your opponent destroys all your stuff, just Fright for Fusion away 3 of these fusion guys for 1 of this. And then lastly, this monstrosity, Fright for Chimera. All it needs is 3 Fright for monsters. Yeah, that's real steep. But basically his effect is everything, like all of them combined. If it attacks or is attacked, he's got the Armades effect. When he destroys an opponent's monster, you get special summon that monster to your side of the field, but its attack is half, but that's still something crazy. And you can only use that one once per turn, but also he gains 300 attack for every monster that you control that was originally owned by your opponent. So crazy. It's literally all those combined, and it's got 2,800 attack, so he gets really high, well over 3,000. The only reason you play this is, I don't know, I don't recommend using this on this. If for some reason you want to, And if you're at your wit's end and your opponents just beat you down completely and you want to bring this out, go ahead. The main reason is because you can summon it for free off of March, which is pretty fun. This, even though it only sticks around for 1 turn, this thing can cause some damage. And yeah, it can cause some damage. And, you know, this card is just amazing. I like it a lot. Like I said, some people haven't played this because they're more focused on an OTK. While you can OTK with this, I still like this for the added security to protect these. And you can also actually bring out Sabretooth with March. So yeah, you got that. So anyway, that's it for this Fluffal deck profile. If you enjoyed the content, remember to subscribe. Also leave a like and a comment to show your support. Let me know if you like this through Dueling Network, if it worked out, if in editing I was able to make it look a lot nicer. And, you know, just let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you enjoyed the whole Chateau Chat style. Anyway, this has been King of Williams. Have a nice day.